Hello, my witches, wizards, and warlocks.
This week, we're going to discuss story and narrative. More specifically with minis, but you can use this for prop building, costuming, painting, whatever you want to do it for. I use these same methods across everything that I do. Now, the important thing to think about is I don't view miniatures as a chunk of plastic that I'm putting onto a table and then throwing some dice at and moving. I view these as actual sentient beings that live in some world or some realm of fantasy that just currently are locked in battle. So when I'm building a story, I question what are their hobbies, what are their passions, what do they do outside of this fight? You know, do they have personality traits that I can potentially try and portray or get across? And then I break it down into internal and external story. Internal, I view as the story that's basically for you, the creator. So internally, I'm creating a story or a narrative for a miniature that is strictly for me, that typically I'm only going to know the majority of or the bulk of unless I sit there and explain it to someone. And then external is the way that I tell or portray my internal story externally through the construction, building, the painting, the basing of your mini. All these together help externally tell your internal narrative for that specific miniature. So example, if we take my two Huntmasters, typically in the lore, it's rumored that there isn't really a Huntmaster. The Kurnoth hunters just send a new hunter every time, and he just goes, I'm the Huntmaster. And no one really questions, I am the Huntmaster. I am the Huntmaster.
Oi, you can't both be the Huntmaster. That's not how that works. Oi, 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 they're both the Huntmaster. They are both the Huntmaster.
I personally like the idea of having a distinct leader or Huntmaster or general to lead my unit of hunters into battle. So we look at this first one. Internally, I view him as a poison expert, obsessed with toxins and herbs, and would much rather be roaming the woods, seeking out new herbs or blending things together or researching poisonous insects. Hence why his quiverling could be a really poisonous insect or bug that's his companion. And just have this deep narrative for him that if externally, I very simply displayed by just putting poison on his arrow tip. So if you looked at it, you would go, oh, cool, it's got a poisoned arrow, and just leave it at that. But then internally to me, I have this whole backstory to where I simply portrayed it. I could have gone more extreme with it. I could have added maybe a notebook journal on his hip. That's where he keeps all of his notes and research. Could have put maybe an herb satchel on his back or on his side to show that he's always picking herbs and collecting more research and data. So you can really be as simple or complex with it as you'd like. And then if we take a look at my second hunter, him I wanted to be a lot, kind of the opposite. Internally, he's very battle driven. He's very bloodthirsty. He is a hunter. He longs for battle. He loves the hunt. I also went with a theme of kind of a Warcraft hunter style to where they have companions, beastly companions, opposed to just a simple quiverling. And And so I tried making his stature more ominous and bigger and bolder and grander to show that he is the alpha, he is the leader. His companion is a dire wolf to help emphasize that alpha, that pack leader. Externally, you know, we added some more, we did a little bit of kit bashing, added some skulls in the back to kind of show that he's a headhunter. He loves battle so much that he adorns the trophies of his hunts. And there's kind of two examples to where I feel like my first one I went a little more subtle. Second one was a little bit more extreme. And you can get even more complex with these as well. We can even have a simple narrative to where if you take the Awakened Wildwood, I simply just added a little boar and a wolf. And just by adding these two little things gave so much more life and organic feel to the Awakened Wildwood. Makes it really feel more like it's an actual in the middle of the woods. There's this whole life going on outside of this battle. But then internally, I view it as, you know, maybe this wolf's been hunting this boar for days or weeks even, and he finally feels like he has the kill and he's zoning in. But little does he know that there's actually spiders descending down that maybe have eyes set on the boar as well. That now there's going to be this fight outside of the big battle itself. There's now this internal little fight that's going to go on. But something as simple as just adding 2 extra little creatures just made it feel a lot more organic and natural. And it can even be as simple as just as your bases. If we look here at this unit of hunters, I gave them all a similar base to where they're all fighting on a river or by a riverbank to kind of show that they are all in a unit together. They're all side by side fighting in the same little area. Opposed to if I had one on a grassy hill or one on a rocky cliff, the other was just on, you know, a shore somewhere. It's going to make them feel a lot more distant, a lot more separated in the actual battle. So simply just having a similar base can make it a lot more immersive to symbolize that they're, as a unit, fighting side by side. A final example can be the Vengeful Skullroot. Now, this is a sentient tree that roams across the battlefield. It crawls in a menacing, ominous way towards its victims, laying waste across the battlefield. I like to view it as digging trenches behind it, just leaving dead bodies and waste as it just slowly, eerily creeps across the battlefield. And I wanted to kind of portray that in a way that it's in mid-movement, it's crawling towards the enemy. And this is as simple as just adding a little bit of dirt on each of the branches to kind of show that it's lifting up its branch tendrils and there's dirt still dripping off of them. So even something as simple as that can really help add and push that story and that narrative of the miniature. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. If you liked the video, hit that like button. If you disliked it, double tap that dislike button. Subscribe if you're not already a part of the Wizards Guild. Hit that bell notification if you want to get notified every Monday when I drop my new videos. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Be safe, and until next time, happy crafting.